Standing beside me is Ken Everly, and Ken actually lives in the apartments right next door here. Ken, just describe what you were hearing during that time. And with Friday Night Lights just a few weeks away, we're learning that more precautions are being taken now in our high schools than ever before. There's where it starts, way up there, and then we'll turn around and give you a little peek back here. The line ends somewhere back there. We're not quite sure where. We heard about the storm, we heard about how powerful it was, but until you're actually here and see some of the images, it's quite breathtaking, really. You can see the leftover from the party behind me, and I want to know, who put me on this assignment? Anyway, there are a lot of intoxicated people out here. The Wilson building wasn't always abandoned, and if you step back in time, you'll notice that things were a lot different. They say, well, we don't know exactly what kind of damage mining could do to the area. In the state of Iowa, there are 338 school districts. And of those 338 school districts, only 2 started after the week of September 1st. We've got constitutional amendment proposals, statewide advisory questions, groups like the Quad Cities Crime Stoppers who pay you to help them solve a crime.
I have not seen anything like this.
It's clear.
It was about maybe waist high.
Mother Nature had it out for Dixon.
Last night, this whole section of culvert crumpled.
Gripping her teeth into 7th Street, biting through the concrete.
That's crazy.
And spitting it into the creek below.
A big chunk just fell.
Curious folks looked on in disbelief before snapping a quick picture.
Yeah, that's a lot of rain.
A lot of rain and a big headache for the newly elected mayor.
It is a big hole. The culvert itself galvanized, there was some rusting on it, and that gave way during all the water pressure from the flash flood.
You can see the water line right here.
Lou Sacchetti's home fell victim to the rushing waters from the broken culvert.
That's our freezer.
In the middle of remodeling his home, most of his belongings were in the basement, like these old pictures.
That's stuff you can't replace.
Generators are now pumping water out of homes and back into the creek, while crews pick up the leftovers Mother Nature left behind.
Yeah.
Shane Simmons, WQAD, News 8.
He followed me around everywhere. He was my baby.
It was a few days ago when Leah Masterson's dad took her 2 dogs for a walk at Credit Island Park. And then this.
He said I couldn't save him, honey. You know, he was dead. You know, basically his windpipe was crushed and he suffocated.
Leah's dog Wrigley strolled off trail and was killed by this illegally placed hunting trap.
I just don't want it to happen to anybody else. It's devastating.
The story struck a nerve with viewers, dozens commenting on our Facebook page wanting answers as to why someone was setting this trap in a city park.
I automatically went and I set off all my traps voluntarily.
Friday, the man who set the trap shared his story.
I've been sick to my stomach ever since I found out it did happen. It's not something that I did intentionally. I'm not out to hurt any domestic animal.
With a Shih Tzu flag in his yard, the man says he has a soft spot for animals. You had no idea that it was illegal to set that trap in that park.
Right. I had not had any inclination that it was illegal at the time.
He said he's been trapping in these woods for years, and as the city deer hunt coordinator, he said the city of Davenport has even asked him in previous years to trap at Credit Island Park. So we called Davenport's public information officer, but our calls were not returned. If you had a chance to say something, what would it be?
Well, I definitely would like to apologize. I didn't do this intentionally. I have no intentions on ever hurting a domestic animal. That's just not the way I am. You know, I have a big heart when it comes to animals. I really do.
Shane Simmons, WQAD, News 8.
It would not be a very good thing because eventually what would happen is your body couldn't absorb nutrients.
We've all been there.
Yes.
Calcium chloride?
Calcium chloride, calcium carbonate, things like that.
Teachers, homework, tests, notes, rules, enough to drive a teenager at Mercer County High School up the wall. Or drive them to the nearest fishing hole.
It's kind of a rush.
19 and a half. Yeah, buddy.
I haven't seen one any bigger than that.
What is it?
16 and a half.
Dang.
Who needs pads, a ball, or cleats when you've got a pole, boots, and some water?
It's just fun, I guess you'd call it.
The masterminds behind the Mercer County High School's bass fishing team?
You know how much grief we're going to catch from people when you put this on the...
Superintendent's going to say, what are we doing?
Mr. Aaron Hart and John Swain. But the real catch of this story began back in early spring.
The first night that we start building rods, they put on the cork candles. And what you're going to do is you're just going to get a wave going.
You could say this is where the real coaching's done.
Push the brush in there. There you go. A lot of them that come in are interested in fishing, and they've probably done a lot of fishing maybe on their own.
Aaron Hart and John Swink said, the heck with buying fishing poles, let's make them. Their own rods, their own bait, on their own time.
One little small mistake, you have to restart, and it gets really irritating.
Austin McGuire is a sophomore who's been fishing for as long as he can remember, but never has he done anything quite like this.
Right now I'm wrapping the guides on, which is what the fish string goes through.
Well, like all sports, perfection doesn't come overnight.
Yeah.
Cassie Doyle will tell you.
Yeah, it's definitely hard because if you don't get the lines just right, they'll snap on you and then you gotta start it all over again.
Aside from that,
the kids really get a kick out of it.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
These kids will tell you the first thing you need to know about fishing is a little luck goes a long way.
You're gonna have to have some luck to catch that real big one. Even watching the bass fishing on TV and everything, that they'll tell you it's got to take that one lucky fish to get your first place.
In first place is what Alex Brown and Noah Price are aiming for.
I hope so.
It's just a process of having the right technique and throwing the right bait.
All these young anglers are fishing for 4 spots. The rules: catch the biggest fish you can, and you might land yourself on the Mercer County sectional team.
Looks like he guides it back with his right hand right here. Everybody that shows up gets a point, for being here. Big fish of the tournament gets a point. And at the end of the year, we give some extra points away for total weight.
Sure, it's competitive, but it's fishing. I mean, how stressful can it get?
Yeah, this is a lot more relaxing. And we also have Illinois. Gosh darn it.
Oh, that thing.
No, try it.
Thank goodness for coaches.
A lot of fun of it's just sitting here talking with your friends and doing what you love.
Ooh.
About fell in.
Did you actually film that?
At the end of the day, it's not about who reeled in the biggest bass or who caught the most fish.
I think I've caught more bluegills on topwater than I've ever caught in my life.
It's about friends casting out together and waiting for that big catch.
The fish was from his shoulder to his waist. It was a huge bass.
In Mercer County, Shane Simmons, WQAD News 8.